Hello everybody, welcome back. We are on the page 14 of 6.4. We're doing question C now, so what I've done is I just recopied the question. Look at a common denominator. I think a common denominator is very simple here. We have x minus 4, we have no denominator in the 2, which was actually a 1, and we have an x minus 4, so the common denominator here is going to be 4. So what we'll do is we'll multiply this by x minus 4, multiply the 2 by x minus 4, and we multiply the numerator here by 2x minus 4, or sorry, x minus 4, right? So x minus 4. Again, you can do it the front and back. It doesn't matter. I just want you to see it, right? And the red is what we've done. So first step, remember, if you're not sure, just take a look at your steps there on page 13. Factor each denominator. It doesn't need to be factored. Identify the non-permissible values. So again, I'll just do this because I do forget sometimes. So it's insert. What we'll do is we have x can't equal 4, obviously, right? These are the non-permissible values. Okay, you're probably like, why are we doing this? We'll learn that next year in Pre-Cal 12 of why that's the case. Okay. So the x minus 4 divides with the x minus 4. X minus 4 divides with x minus 4. It's gone, leaving you with 5x. 2x minus 4, we multiply that out, we get 2x minus 8. X minus 4 divides with the x minus 4, leaves you with 3x plus 8. Right? Beautiful. That literally is what it simplifies down to. It's great. So now we'll collect like terms and bring them together. So now we have 5x plus 2x, and then we got to subtract 3x from both sides, right? So we subtract 3x from both sides. That's eliminated. 5x plus 2x minus 3x would be 4x. All right. And then what we do is we add the 8 to both sides. So we add 8 to both sides. And we get 8 plus 8, which is 16. And we divide both sides by 4. Oh. I got rid of all that. Sorry, my bad. So I should have kept that line as is. Just going on backing up here. My apologies. I thought I did it on the second line, right? So the 7x, that comes together to make 7x. Subtract the 3x makes it 4x. Add the 8 to both sides, right? So add the 8 to both sides. That's gone, leaving you with 8. And then we get 4x equals 16. All right. And then we get, obviously, x, divide both sides by 4, and we get x equal to 16 divided by 4, which is 4. And this is actually no solution. This is called an extraneous root due to the fact that x can't be equal to 4. So this is the first time we had this. So there's actually no solution to this equation. So we just put a line through it. Yeah, it can't be there. This is called extraneous root, which means no solution. Okay? This will happen sometimes with these questions. Like, remember the radicals when we did those? We would get an answer, but it wouldn't work. Well, this is one of those cases. Okay? Let's look at D. D looks complicated. It's not too bad. First thing you're going to do is factor, so I'm going to recopy that original that we have there. So I've copied the original, and what we're going to do is we're going to find a common denominator. So the first thing you do is you want to factor this denominator here in the right-hand side. So that would be, that should be squared. Two numbers multiplied together give me negative 4. Added together give me negative 3. You guessed it. It is x plus 1, x minus 1, right? So that's a good thing because we have one of those in each of these. So what we're going to do is multiply by the least common denominator, which is actually the denominator of the right-hand side here, which is perfect. So here we're going to multiply by x. Oh, make the red now. My apologies. So we're going to multiply by x plus 1, x minus 4. Because remember, that's the common denominator. Even though it has an x plus 1 here, you still got to multiply it. And I'm going to copy this because we're doing it to all 3 of these. Alright? It doesn't matter what side you do it on the left to right hand side of the number, right? So x plus 1 divides with the x plus 1. I'll recopy this line so you can see this in action. Alright? So the x plus 1 divides with this x plus 1. Leaves you with x minus 4 multiplied by x. This x minus 4 divides with this x minus 4. Leaving you with x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 1. Clean this up for us here. And then this x plus 1 over 4 divides with this x plus 1, x minus 4, and this leaves you with 5, right? So it is a little bit of a mess here. The denominator is gone. That's the whole idea. So I'll just fix that up, and we get x minus, or x multiplied by x, and minus 4 multiplied by x, so that actually becomes x squared minus 4x, and then we got the x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 1, so that gives us plus x squared plus 2x plus 1, so x multiplied by x is x squared, 1 times x is 2x, and 1 times 1 is x, and that's all things equal to 5. Alright? So yeah, you're saying, no, we're going to get a quadratic here, and you'd be right. So x squared plus x squared is 2x squared. Negative 4x plus 2x is negative 2x. I know you thought the quadratics were gonzo, but they're not. And then take the 5 over, so we subtract 5 from both sides, and we get negative 4. And we subtract 5 from both sides, we get 0. Alright. You're probably saying there was a mistake here. This should have been subtract. You can bang on, which makes this subtract here. So I got to go back and I got to subtract all these terms. See, when you make a mistake like that, it's an easy fix though. So great, it's not going to be a quadratic. That's even better. So sometimes we make little mistakes like that. Not a big deal. So remember, we got to subtract all of these terms right here. So it's going to be subtract x minus 2x minus 1. Alright, which is a good thing because the x squareds are actually eliminated. With x squared, subtract x squared. But if you got a quadratic, you could have worked that out, no problem. Alright, so the x squareds are gone because they equal 0. The 4x subtract 2x would give you negative 6x, and then bring the 1 over to the other side because we're going to solve it. So we add 1 to both sides, and we end up with dividing by negative 6. So we end up with 6 divided by negative 6, which is negative 1. And again, this is not going to work because if you do take a look up top and you find those 1 numbers that don't work, 4 doesn't work, and negative 1 also doesn't work. So, since they don't work, and our answer is negative 1, same idea. Not going to work, right? So that's an extraneous root. So therefore, no solution. Same as last time. Okay? It doesn't happen all the time, just a coincidence that we had it twice in a row. Okay? And the last one, and then we'll get into a couple of word problems to finish off the chapter. So the last one for this video is going to be, there's a little bit to it. So just take your time. I'm going to rewrite this question, and then we'll start multiplying what we need to multiply. Okay? All right, so step 1, you're going to rewrite the question. Okay? And then in step 2, I would factor. So you'd think you might factor this numerator, but I'm going to hold off for a minute. Sometimes you're not going to need to, and sometimes you will. So I leave it alone in case I don't want to go back. And you're going to see what's going to happen. But definitely factor the denominators. That's one of the key things we have to do here. So k squared minus 4 becomes k minus 2, k plus 2. And then you'll notice that there's the two denominators here. So this is actually the common denominator. So I'll do the red, finding those common denominators. So everything has to be multiplied by this common denominator here of x minus 2x plus 2. So we'll copy that, and each of these will get multiplied by that. All right, I'm going to make it red so you can see that that's my step if you're not following the video. All right, copy, and everything gets multiplied by that. Okay, so there is a bit going on here, and this is where your algebra skills will definitely, you'll need them here. Okay, so now the x plus 2 divides with this x plus 2, and it's gone. Right? This x minus 2, brackets here if you wish, doesn't matter. Divides with this x minus 2, it's gone. And then the x plus 2x minus 2 is gone, and this x plus 2x minus 2 is also gone because they divide out, right? That's where you're left with. That's the whole idea. That's why we multiply by the least common denominator, because if we do that, it's gone, right? It's eliminated. So now we're going to do some multiplying, and that's why I didn't factor this. You'll see that in a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we have to start multiplying. So we get, I'm going to steal the k squared because it's actually k squared. All right. I'm going to make it all one color now. All right. So we have k squared. So now we have k squared, and we're going to multiply everything out here. We have minus 8. Sorry, little mistake there. Let's go back. That was actually 4k squared. My apologies. No big deal. And then we have 8k and k, right? So 2 times 4k and k minus 1, so that becomes 9k. All right, plus 2. And k times k is k squared. Remember, this is subtract, so every term is going to be subtracted. And the k multiplied by the 2k, so it's actually 3k. Collect like terms, plus 2. Alright, so now in this next line, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract all these terms, right? So it's subtract k squared, subtract 3 squared, subtract 2. Alright, now we're going to collect like terms, so we must bring these all to this side as well. So we're going to cut these, and it's going to be subtract, and we need brackets, and we're going to paste them, and it's going to be equal to 0 because we're getting rid of them all here. We'll add all one time. Now, we'll also change this now, right? So it's subtract, and it's subtract the negative, so it's actually going to be plus, and it's going to be subtract 24. Now we'll collect like terms. So we got 3k squared minus k squared. Sorry, 4k squared minus k squared. Minus k squared gives you 2k squared. All right. So 2k squared. We got negative 9 minus 3 plus 4. So that'd be minus 8k. And then we got minus 24 plus 2 minus 2, so it's actually minus 34 equal to 0. Now we're going to solve this quadratic. You can solve this quadratic any way you want, but if you look quickly, you can divide everything by 2. You can factor the 2 out, but now that it's an equation, you actually can divide the 2. Either way, whatever way you want to do it, what it's going to look like is dividing by 2 gives you 1, divide negative 8 by 2 gives you negative 4, divide negative 24 by 2 gives you 12, and then this is easily factored, right? And you get easily get k, and that's it for the video. We ran out of time.